Good morning, standard 5 students. Today we will start revision of chapter 12 and 13. So first we will start the revision of chapter 12, that is air and water. We know all around us there is air. Air is essential as it is needed by all living things for breathing. Without air we cannot survive because all living things need air to breathe. Air is a mixture of many gases like nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, water vapor and few other gases like argon, krypton, xenon, neon. Some dust particles may also be present in it like light and heat from the sun. Our air is a crucial ingredient in maintaining life on our planet. So you know that water is very important, light is also important, heat is also important from the sun, and like that air is also very important for us because without air we cannot breathe and without breathing we cannot survive. Now let us see about what is atmosphere. So the thick blanket of air that envelops our earth is known as atmosphere. We can live on earth because there is atmosphere. So what is atmosphere? Atmosphere is a thick blanket, like blanket protect us from cold. Like same, our atmosphere protects the earth from all many different things that makes it suitable for living on this earth. The atmosphere protects us from the harmful ultraviolet radiation of the sun. Once the heat of the sun is in our atmosphere, it is trapped. That means the layer as stratosphere, the second layer of the atmosphere, that is stratosphere, it has ozone layer. That ozone layer protects us from the ultraviolet radiation of the sun that can cause us skin cancer and many health damages. Once the heat of the sun is in our atmosphere, it is trapped. That means it does not allow the heat of the earth to go outside, and it does not allow all the heat also to come inside the earth. So it maintains the temperature suited for living things, where neither the days are too hot nor the nights are too cold. In other planets, during the day when there is sunlight, then it becomes very hot, and at night when there is no sunlight, then it becomes too cold. So it is not suitable for living. Living things take oxygen from the atmosphere. Plants use carbon dioxide present in the air to make their food. Now impurities in water. So we see about the water. Water is also very important for our survival. The purest form of natural water is rainwater. Rainwater is the purest form, but the water that comes from water bodies like rivers, lakes often contains undesirable substances like dirt, mud, germs, etc. These substances are called impurities. These are undesirable substances that we do not want in our pure water, drinking water. Drinking impure water can cause cholera, dysentery and jaundice. So, it is necessary for us to remove these impurities. So, impurities must be removed from water before drinking it and before using it. Now, there are two types of impurities. Let us see about these types. The impurities can be divided into two types: soluble and insoluble impurities. Soluble impurities that completely dissolve or mix in the water are called soluble impurities. We cannot see it. For example, sugar and salt. Insoluble impurities, the impurities that do not mix or dissolve in water, are called insoluble impurities. For example, sand and gravel. It does not mix with the water and it remains visible to us. Removal of insoluble impurities. Insoluble impurities present in water can be removed by sedimentation and decantation. There are two processes by which we can remove the insoluble impurities from water. You can see in this picture, sedimentation is done. First we keep the mixture for some time without disturbing, undisturbed. After some time we will see that this sediment, the sand or whatever insoluble particles are settling at the bottom of the container. That process is known as sedimentation. The second process is decantation. After sedimentation, we take the upper supernatant liquid to another beaker very carefully by using a glass rod. So, sediment will remain in that beaker and the clear liquid will be taken into another beaker. This process is called sedimentation. After sedimentation, some heavier particles settle as sediment, but some floating particles may be present in the water. So, we will filter it by using a filter paper. This process is known as filtration. In this process, what happens? The solid particles that is present in the water, decanted water, after distillation we will take, that water may contain some floating particles. So, we will pour that water in the filter paper, placed in the glass funnel, and this glass funnel we will pour the mixture, and this glass funnel will be placed over a beaker. So when we will pour the mixture of that water, floating particles and water, then what will happen? The filter paper has very small holes in it, pores. So it allows only water to pass through it, and it does not allow any particles, other particles to pass through it. So all the residue, that is we are calling residue, the only clear water will pass to the beaker, and all the residue, that is floating particles, will remain in the filter paper. Now next we will see about the removal of soluble impurities. Soluble impurities can be removed from water by evaporation and distillation. So what is evaporation? Changing of water into water vapor or any other liquid to vapor on heating is called evaporation. So you can see in this picture, when we are heating a mixture of common salt in water, then what happens? By using a burner in a china dish, we will take the mixture and we will heat it, then we will see that water evaporates. In this picture also it is shown that water is evaporating. Water is evaporating here, and in the second picture you can see the common salt remain in the dish. So we can remove this common salt, we can separate from this water by evaporating it. Now next process is distillation. In these processes, two processes involved. First is evaporation, second is condensation. So in this first, what we will take a distilling flask. In that mixture will be taken, and after that we will put a thermometer to see the temperature. When we will heat the distilling flask, mixture kept in distilling flask, then what we will see? We will see that the water evaporates to form water vapor, and this water vapor is directly going to a condenser. This is condenser. Condenser means where we circulate cold water to make it cool. After cooling this vapor, water vapor is going inside the condenser. So after cooling, this water vapor again changes into water, and it is collected in the receiving flask. So this is the process of evaporation and condensation, that is known as distillation. In this we are getting the purest form of water. Now next is water treatment. In towns and cities, water is always purified before making it available for us to use. This is called water treatment. The different steps involved in purification of water are sedimentation, filtration and chlorination. That means the dirty water is first sedimented, heavier particles settle, and still some floating particle may be present. So they are filtered through filtration, and after the filtration also it can contain germs. So we will do disinfection. We will take the water in the disinfection tank and we will pass chlorine gas in it, so that it can kill the germs present in the water. So you can see here this process, the picture. In this it is shown that first water is taken in a coagulation tank and it is passed to a sedimentation tank. You can see the arrow also, it is coming to sedimentation tank, in which all the heavier impurities are settling at the bottom of the container. After that, this sedimentation tank, water is passed to a filtration tank, where sand, gravel and charcoal is taken here to pass the liquid through it, so that all these floating particles, small particles, remains in the filtration tank, and the water is passed to the disinfection tank. In the disinfection tank, chlorine gas is passed and that kills the germs. We will see the picture here, chlorination. You can see chlorine gas is passed in the tank, and due to this chlorine gas, the germs present in the water can be killed, and after that it is becoming usable. Now we can use it for drinking also. The purification of water at home. To ensure the purity of supply water can be purified at home by the following ways. That means sometimes what happens, due to poor maintenance or leakages in the pipe underground, some dirty water can mix with our drinking water. So we should purify our water, supply water when it is supplied to our home. So first method is very easy, it is boiling. Water should be boiled at least 10 minutes to kill the germs and then stored in a clean vessel. Nowadays electrical water purifier is used to get pure water. In the most of our houses we have RO, that is reverse osmosis water purifier, is used to kill the germs present in the water, and we can drink it. You can see the picture also. In first picture you can see we are boiling water and cooling it and store it in a clean closed vessel so that it cannot be infected again. And second is RO purifier, in which we are directly taking the water to use and to drink. So this is the method which we are using nowadays at our home. Now we will revise chapter 13. So in chapter 13 we will read about our natural satellite, the moon. So what is moon? The Earth's only natural satellite. Moon is the Earth's only natural satellite. And now there is a question, what is satellite? A satellite is a body that involves in a regular orbit around a planet. Now the moon, the natural satellite of the Earth. The moon is Earth's only natural satellite and the fifth largest moon in the solar system, which is the closest neighbor of the Earth in space. It is also closest to us. After the sun, the full moon is the only one brightest object in the sky. The moon does not have any light of its own. It shines and it reflects the light of the sun. So moon is non-luminous. It does not have its own light. It reflects the light of the sun. That's why it shines at the night sky. Now about the surface of the moon. The surface of the moon has many features including mountains and valleys, craters and maria. Wide flat areas that look like seas, they are known as maria. From a distance, if you will look that, they will look like a sea. And it is formed from probably solidified molten rock. Now next is, the surface of the moon is uneven and rough. It is not smooth, it is only uneven and it is full of dust. There are big deep holes called craters on the moon. These craters are formed when chunks of rocks called meteorites dash into the surface of the moon. They form very big deep holes on the moon's surface. You can see the picture here, how much uneven and deep holes are also present on the surface of the moon. Now next we will see about the phases of the moon. At night sky we see the changing shape of the moon every day. This changing of the shape of the moon every day is known as phases of the moon. You can see, we see one new moon and one full moon. Now man's landing on the moon. So you know that first man that landed on the moon was Neil Armstrong from America, and the spacecraft that has taken them is Apollo 11 on 28 July 1969. Their spacecraft Apollo 11 landed on the moon. This is the first landing of man on the moon. That is Neil Armstrong followed by Edwin Aldrin. Now eclipses. What are eclipses? When the earth or the moon blocks the light of the sun partially or completely, an eclipse is caused. So eclipses are nothing but the shadow. When any that object blocks the light of the sun, then what happens? Shadows are formed. So when the earth or the moon, that is also object that blocks the light of the sun. So when they cast the shadow over each other, then they form two types of eclipses. This happens when at some point the earth, the moon and the sun come in a straight line. There are two types of eclipses. They are solar eclipse and lunar eclipse. You can see in this picture, solar eclipse, when the moon comes between the earth and the sun, the moon casts shadow on the earth. So the people that lives in that part, they don't see the sun. They see dark patches on the sun and they think it is solar eclipse. Now in lunar eclipse, what happens? Due to the movement of the moon and the earth both, the moon goes behind the earth. That means the earth comes between the sun and the moon. In this case, what happens? The earth comes between the moon and the sun. So the earth casts its shadow on the moon and moon is not visible. Moon becomes very dark because moon does not get the light of the sun. As it shines with the light of the sun, it does not get the light of the sun, so we cannot see the moon. It is visibly very dark. So we say that it is lunar eclipse. Now next, the moon and the tides. So due to the gravitational pull of the moon, tides are occurring. So tides are periodic rise and fall of water in large water bodies. Actually, large water bodies, it is visible. How are tides caused? Tides are caused due to the gravitational attraction between the sun or the moon and the earth. The pull of the moon causes the water bodies to move upwards. You can see in this picture, there are low tides in between two high tides. There is a low tide, and this is the water is buzzing towards the moon due to the gravitational pull of the moon. Now next is artificial satellite. So an artificial satellite is an object that people have made and launched into orbit using rockets. There are currently over 1,000 of active satellites orbiting the Earth. They are very useful for us for communication, for sending messages from one country to another, for observing, for searching many things on the Earth. So all these artificial satellites are very much important for our life. These objects are called artificial satellites to distinguish them from natural satellites such as Earth's moon. So there are some natural also, that's why they are called as artificial, as it is made by man. You can see the picture of an artificial satellite also here. Now next some revision questions are there for you. So first question is from chapter 12, that is what is evaporation. So we know that changing of water into water vapor or any liquid to vapor or heating is called evaporation. Question number 2 is name two insoluble impurities present in water. So two insoluble impurities present in water are mud and dust. Now question 3, what is distillation? The process of purifying water first by boiling it and then condensing the vapor, that is steam that is coming from water, is distillation. And distilled water is the purest form of water. Now what are craters? The craters are big deep holes on the surface of the moon that forms when, you can see in the next question, how are craters formed on the Earth's surface? Craters are formed when chunks of rocks called meteorites dash into the surface of the moon. When they hit the surface of the moon, they form big deep holes on the moon's surface. These are known as craters. Now question number 6 is what is a lunar month? So we know that from one new moon to another it takes roughly 30 days. That means from one new moon to another new moon changing its shapes continuously, and after 30 days this period is again repeated, and this period is called a lunar month. So lunar month is about 30 days. Question number 7 is what would be your weight on the moon if you are 30 kg on the Earth? So our weight will be 5 kg on the moon, as the gravity of the moon is 1/6 of the gravity of the Earth. Now some objective question is also here. Complete the following sentences. So dash are periodic rise and fall of water in water bodies. So we will write here types. The first artificial satellite of India was Aryabhatta. It was named after our scientist Aryabhatta. Third number is the first artificial satellite of the world is Sputnik 1. It was launched by Russia in 1957. Fourth number is a solar eclipse occurs when the moon is between the sun and the earth. Fifth is the process of changing water or any other liquid to vapor on heating is called evaporation, we have seen. The first man to set foot on the moon is Neil Armstrong from America, we know. So thank you students, all of you. Again we will meet in the next class. Thank you.